Hey, what's up, Robbie? It's been a really busy week in prop. We had this trader who was chasing a $5 million payout, but looks like he's been exposed as a fraud. And as you know, there's been a lot of platform issues over the last year and a half. So we might have a new contender stepping up to the ring of prop trading.
Yeah, I wonder if they smell blood in the water.
Coast to coast traders, we breaking it down. Stocks, prop options, level in the town. Flex your brain, not just stress, stay strong. Building wealth with swagger, can't go wrong.
Righty, what's up, Robbie? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really excited about this topic, man. I feel like we may have just witnessed an extinction level event because all I see is shade, bro.
Sure, for sure. There's been a lot going on. There's a lot of people talking about, different traders. Some traders are just getting thrown in the mix, probably by mistake, but we got a lot to cover. So let's dive into it, bro.
Yeah, so you mentioned there's a new platform out there, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I saw this posted on Discord originally by a fellow trader, and I looked into it, and it's this new platform called Tradesea coming to Lucid and a couple Tradeify. Lucid and Tradeify are the two main ones.
Hmm.
There's a third that I didn't recognize, Lulu maybe, but it's very TradingView esque. So imagine Project X style of a platform,
Hmm.
but the data is provided by Rhythmic.
Okay.
So yeah, so some people might love that, some people might hate that. I know just this past week we've had some issues with Tradeovate and NinjaTrader having some freezing issues. Several people that I know lost some accounts, unfortunately.
Yep.
These guys are touting some really high reliability and speed, so that's great. But if you've experienced any issues on Rhythmic, I don't know what this will do to alleviate that because ultimately Rhythmic is the backbone.
Yep.
I did read a couple of their blog posts. The technology is definitely above my pay grade to fully understand, but it sounds interesting. They got some interesting features as well. They have this built-in AI that you can ask questions about, general trading questions. You can even prompt it to build custom strategies and I think even custom indicators. Their documentation or their blog, I should say, does mention that they have full trading view indicator support, but I do believe this is limited along the same path that Project X was, whereas you can only choose from the pool of their predefined ones. I did experiment with it a little bit, and I didn't see anything like Ripster clouds that I would really want to add, or like any key levels that Top Step have added themselves. They do have
Okay.
a pretty cool lockout feature built in,
Okay. That's
a
good.
nice stop loss bracket kind of tool. So it's interesting. I'm looking forward to check it out. When it comes out.
Yeah. Do you, so the biggest thing with the Top Step X platform was the 10-minute chart. Do you have access to the 10-minute chart?
Yes, yes.
Oh, see,
I already added it to my favorites.
right there, that is a huge upgrade because I know so many people use the 10-minute chart and they were like, yo, Top Step, what, like WTF, right? And then they it was always like one of those, it's coming. Bro, you said it was coming like 18 months ago. Like, is this coming back like my dad who left for the milk or what?
Granted, yeah. So the thing is, though, like the version that I'm using is still potentially the beta. It's not formally out yet. So what I see, doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be in there in the production product. But here's hoping, right?
Yeah, definitely. Here's to hoping. Now, I know that a while ago, some people had repeated issues with Rhythmic, myself being one of them. And this is going back, man. Like, when you're trading, the
Yeah.
days kind of blur together. This is probably at least 18 months ago. And then the downside to it was
Hmm.
like trying to contact Rhythmic was like, again, trying to get a hold of a long lost relative who's never coming back. But this information that I was just kind of scrolling through here. This is saying that they can handle, up to 190,000 requests per minute, on a single shard here, right? With response latencies are really low. And then on the bottom of the platform, it's supposed to be showing you what your latency is. So that's good. So you can know if you're having a data issue right away before you're trying to enter trades.
Yeah, and for the maybe tech illiterate, a shard you would consider as a server, like one bundle of their compute platform, and they have these shards, just a lot of shards distributed all across the country. and
Yeah.
each one is redundant. So, one fails, they have a backup, but then there's multiple, all over various regions and stuff. So
Yes.
they're already set to scale.
Great.
So that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very promising. Looking forward to hearing more about this in the future episodes. Robbie, we'll have to keep well, you have to keep me posted. We'll have to keep everybody posted. And hopefully when this goes live, I will definitely take it for a spin as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hmm.
Cool. 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 All
So
right. So what's next, bro?
moving on to Scooter Boy Matt.
Scooter Matt, aka first name is really is John, by the way. So he goes by his middle name. So Scooter John. Uh
Yeah.
so he had an interesting week here. Um I have to say, Scooter Man here, he pumps up a big game. He talks about himself in a big game. If you review his profile, he was the first to have the trading Discord. He was first, he's the best, blah blah blah. There's no shortage of egos in the prop space.
That's true. That's true.
So,
I wonder what receipts he has to demonstrate he's the first Discord. Because I mean, I don't know.
you know what?
Anyway,
Who cares? Who
yeah.
cares? Who cares? Matt. If it helps you sleep better at night, Matt, John, Scooter, good for you. But so he's
Mhm.
saying this week, this is the big deal. Is he's saying he took
Yep.
out $32,844 in payouts this week.
Hmm.
That's
Pretty nice though. In the
that's
last 2 days,
yeah, definitely really solid. Like that's
like, who doesn't want that?
no, it's really solid. But
Hmm.
like they say, devil's in the details here, bro. It's not
Yeah.
looking good. So first things
So what are the
first.
details that we're talking about?
First things first is he posts a screenshot of like the Top Step. I'm sorry, not Top Step. TPT page. It's TPT. And
Yep.
he says right here, hey, look, see, these are my only accounts I've ever had. Right.
Yep.
And now anybody who's good at Photoshop, let me just tell you how this could go. You're going to put a little square over this. You're going to use the color dropper. You're going to match this color. You're going to take another screenshot of this. You're going to circle it green. It's gone.
Yeah.
Right. It's
And
not a,
even without Photoshop, like press F12 on a browser, there's an inspector tool. You can highlight that and just delete it.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Dude, like the crazy thing is it's so hard to prove you're legit too nowadays that it's like
Yeah,
I,
for real. Yeah, between just those generic, like those little itty bitty hacks, and then LLMs, they can generate screenshots and stuff. Yeah, I agree. Like, and even if you are legit, you prove your stuff. Like, half the time, probably nobody's gonna believe you anyway. I mean, like nobody believe. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people don't believe Lance B. So,
no. No.
I mean,
And
it is what it
yeah,
is.
not to derail this conversation because we weren't planning on talking about Lance B, but like Lance B has literally traded and mentored at two different like legitimate prop firms. Like I don't know. Not to mention the fact that he's talked about making and losing several $1,000,000 of his own money on his own trades. Like I guess he didn't show his brokerage. I don't know there, but the two legitimate prop firms, like how many people you think are really in on that lie? Right? Because
Yeah.
the actual
Well, I mean,
founders.
Lance did comment. He commented against Rocket Scooter Matt, whatever his name. Yeah, Scooter Matt. He says he's one of the biggest funded trader clowns out there. So
He did say that. He did say that. Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Hmm.
there's no shortage of hate from Lance to a few of these guys out here. But so
Yeah.
let's just say for the sake of argument, Matt didn't Photoshop this. I don't know if he did or didn't, but I was just saying it would be
Hmm.
very easy to do so. The key here is
Sure.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt doesn't have an option to reset any of these disabled ones. And then on top
Right.
of that, we don't know with these active ones if they've been reset or not. Okay. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And he is saying that he's got 5 active accounts, but he just wasn't showing them because he wanted to fit everything on the screen, and most importantly, show the fact that he had only a single page.
right. So now
Hmm.
at minimum, just remember this 54,000 number, right? Because
Yep.
if he has reset the accounts he's currently using and all of these for the maximum of 3 times, he has spent
Yep.
$54,000, 54,705 on this, which exceeds his payout by over 20 grand. Now,
Yeah.
if he has never reset,
Except to give him some credit though, bro, just for a second, just like, pretend I'm on Scooter's side. Is the 32K he got was just over the last 2 days.
Right.
So I don't imagine that he reset all of these in 2 days. This my my assumption would to give him the benefit of the doubt would be like this is over the course of a few months.
What does that matter?
Well, I mean, if you reset over the course of a few months, and depending on how many payouts he's gotten between each account before they blew,
True.
it's still a very good risk to reward potentially on his trading because we don't know the full details of it. We're just making our own assumptions based on what we see, and there's a lot of information we just don't have.
Correct. For the average trader, I would just throw out this word of advice. It's not financial advice, but it is psychological advice here. Resetting
Hmm.
TPT Pro accounts is a quick way to dig yourself into a very large hole. Very, very large hole,
Oh yeah,
right? So
yeah,
if we just assume he's never reset the accounts that are at the top here, because he's got four more you can't see. So we're just looking at
right.
five here and five here.
Hmm.
Five 50Ks times three resets times $649 a piece is $9,700. And then for the
Yeah,
150Ks, five resets. Oh, sorry. So five resets a piece times three, or three resets a piece times five account times they're 14.99, bro, to reset. Yikes.
yeah,
This is like people's mortgages, 15 months of mortgage payments right here. Ooh,
for real. Yeah,
ooh. So when you combine that with the 97.35, at minimum, he's paid 32,220 for resetting these and blowing these 10 accounts. And
yeah,
he's celebrating. Here's the thing. Is he's celebrating in this post. He made 32 grand while saying your guru blows up hundreds of times. I only blew up 10. That's what he said. He said, I only blew up 10. Bro, you didn't blow up 10.
yeah.
You did not blow up 10. You
You
blew
blew
up
up at
10.
least 30.
What what's 40? Because he blew up the 10
40. Oh,
times
right.
and then he reset them all
Hmm.
three times and then blew those up.
Yeah, good
So
point.
so it's 40. So he blew up 40. He said I blew up 10. No, you
Hmm.
lied, dude. In the first post, you lied. And then he gets called out in the comments. And then he goes, probably 20 to 30K to reset. What you mean probably, bro? You ain't got the receipts. It's your account. Then he's trying to say
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, he
70K
really could
payout.
just pull up a bank statement and just say, "Hey, look, this is my TPT for the year," but nobody's gonna do that.
No, and the thing too is it would be it's a far easier to be more transparent, right? Because if he's talking about ROI, for sure he's trading as a business. He probably has a business credit
Sure.
card. Pull up your business statement or whatever. You know what I mean? And like I don't care if you were to redact the majority of the expenses that are not TPT, right? Because whether it's even if you just blur out the first letter, so we see, hey, everything but the first letter. Hey, this purchase starts with an A. Maybe this person here. Hey, I was at Target. I bought something for the business or whatever. I bought a new mouse for my computer or some shit, whatever. But
Yeah. Well, like on Chase Dynamics, for example, you can literally just type in whatever you want, and that would be the only result across the time span that you're searching for.
hey,
So
that's
you
true
could just
too.
open it up for a year.
That's true
Yeah.
too. You could too. Exactly. So there's a lot of ways that you could do it. You could download it, and filter it out, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is like pretty scummy because the first
Mhm.
post he says, I blew up 10 times. No, you blew up
Yeah.
40. You blew up 40, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a half truth sort of thing. Like
Hmm.
oh, it's because you only see the 10 counts listed, but for those that don't fully understand take profit, maybe they're not aware that you can reset with this particular prop firm. Once you have the pro accounts, they're just like, oh, that's really sweet. Only one page, and he's getting 30K or whatever. Let's join the room.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
anyways.
who cares though, right? So what's the hate?
I don't know. I think the hate is the fact that he started off with the post as telling a half truth, and the hate comes from comments like this. Nobody does it better.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
that's
think there's
true.
some people that think that people that are hating are jealous, and I don't think that way at all. For me, like I don't care. In fact, Joe, I actually had a conversation with a mutual trader friend they were struggling, and they made a comment to me like, "You know what? I think I need to go back to sim."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Bro, there is nothing that you will learn or benefit from going back to sim at this point." And I literally asked him, I said, "Hey, look, dude, look at how many payouts you've gotten with this firm, and then even other firms, if you want to lump them all up, and then do the ROI. Are you net gain on your payouts versus your expenses?"
Mhm.
And he said, I'm a positive." So in that case, then what are you even thinking about going back to sim for? Like, there's no reason. You're just completely wasting your time.
The only uh, to play devil's advocate, for his thoughts on going back to sim, the only reason I would say go back to sim is if he's just really struggling mentally, or
Hmm.
you could reserve sim for just specifically trying a different style of trading, a different set of
Sure.
trades, right? And where you could monitor
Yeah, yeah.
monitor that progress for that style. But to just move all sim trading, all of it back to sim is just like, maybe because you're like on full blown tilt, but in that case, like, just get away. Just
Hmm.
get away from the market entirely.
Yeah, and to add a little bit of context, they had just recently gotten a couple of back-to-back payouts too, so they
Mhm.
were in the zone for
Mhm.
them, after having quite a bit of a dry spell, and they got some payouts, so they proved a consistency in the sim uh, evaluation phase, and then some consistency by getting back-to-back payouts. Like, hey, you know, congratulations, that's awesome, bro. So,
Mhm.
what did you do then, and why aren't you doing the same thing?
Right. How long has this person been trading?
A couple years at least,
Oh, they're
like probably longer than that, but at least in the prop space, a couple
couple
years
years.
perhaps,
Yeah,
maybe
well,
a little bit less. It just depends on how much screen time they've gotten. That's the question that is really hard to know because like sometimes they show up every day in the chat, but necessarily not trading every day.
mhm.
And I think they've only really been putting more effort into it, maybe in the past 6 months. So like the full time period doesn't really reflect their effort.
Okay. Well, even if the full time period doesn't reflect their effort, if we just said they've only been trading 6 months and they are green, they are doing
Hmm.
far, far better than most. And I
Hmm.
agree. I think mostly agree. Don't go back to Sim. Reduce your size.
Hmm.
Even if you're just trading one micro.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Keep it, keep going. Keep going.
Hmm. So next up is Lanto Trades. I think we talked about this guy briefly because he
Mhm.
had gotten a pretty substantial payout from Take Profit as well.
Yes. Yes. He
And so we're
did.
going to segue to that because we're talking about Scooter on Take Profit. But what's the difference between Lanto and Scooter Matt?
Well, the difference with Lanto is Lanto was posting that he was on a TPT Pro Plus account. So they were 5 live accounts that he was copy trading. So he was the real deal. There's no resets there. There's no where you blew up your Pro Plus accounts and when you're back on Pro Plus the next day. Like the dude literally had an epic run a couple weeks in a row, like a couple days in a row. Like just straight epic. Like,
That's awesome. In fact, I don't think I knew that TPT allowed you to have multiple live accounts.
yeah, that's the
I
advantage to
know
Pro.
Lucid does, for example. There's probably a couple others that I don't know of, but that's pretty awesome. Because then we talked about the top step rug pull going from 5 accounts to just a singular funded account, and if you would argue what's the value of staying with top step, I mean there isn't any when you go live. And here we have Take Profit Trader offering you the same amount of live accounts you have on the sim funded stage as in the live.
Yeah. So
So you don't
Lanto's
lose your leverage. That's awesome.
exactly, and Lanto's talking about this here. So, um, he's talking about he's gonna do a full audit coming, right? And to that one kid betting 50K that I spent north of 300K, I'm gonna hold you to it. So that looks like I think it's Sage Trades right here. I'll bet 50K. His spend is north of 300K. Is he profitable? Maybe. Is this realistic for the traders he's selling Dream to? Not even close. Discord plus affiliate money lets you play a numbers game most people can't, right? That's yeah.
So that's where the hate comes from.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree,
Mhm.
right? The folks who are getting affiliate money and the folks who are running discords or whatever, it allows them to pour more money into resets and to trading than other people to take trades off camera or whatever, and oversize, over leverage. And because these companies, especially TPT, they don't care how many accounts you're blowing. Well, they do. You have a limit of no more than 10 pro accounts activated in a month, but you can reset as many as you want in a month. And then um if you have discord money coming in, it just helps you just to do whatever, to um
Yeah, because the affiliate, I mean, it really could add up to way more than most traders make in a month. And in some cases, like these affiliates can be probably more than a trader makes. Like the affiliate in one day might be more than a trader makes in a
right,
month, you know? So it's like, hey, if you're getting thousands of dollars a day or per month, it's like, it's a no brainer for you to go heavy on the prop and just kind of like potentially trade recklessly. And then I'm not necessarily saying that he's trading recklessly in any way. I'm just, kind of throwing this out there as a potential thought that I know I wouldn't be alone in having, right?
right, for sure,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
But he's Lanto is talking game like he's the real deal, so we're gonna have to stay close to what happens with Lanto because this image right here, this pic, I,
Hmm.
I feel like I've seen this before, and I thought it was posted by Take Profit, and it does say Take Profit Trader Pro Plus, right? And look at these, like, these are crazy days. But
Yeah.
this differs from, like, something we're gonna kind of briefly touch on, right, with the Apex email. But what differs
Yeah.
here is that this is pro plus. It's a tongue twister. Uh, it means it's live market. It means that TPT is benefiting from this too because he's making this money and they're taking 10% of it. So, you know, I don't know if this is before split or after, but it doesn't matter because TPT made money off of this and he made a lot of money and everybody wins. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's awesome. And yeah, for sure, we're gonna definitely circle back to this, and
yeah.
especially, I want to know if Sage trades hold up to his end of the deal with that 50K bet.
Yeah, because I have to say this collectively across the community. Everybody is so willing to jump on this guy's a fraud. I don't know if I trust this guy. I don't know this. I don't know that. This dude Sage Trades said he would put up 50K. So this dude made a
Yeah.
$50,000 bet that Lanto is a fraud. He's going to be grasping at any single straw that he can to say, "Hey, Lanto's a fraud. Lanto's still a fraud. He didn't prove nothing." Because this is what everybody does in this whole thing, and I have additional comments for that when we get to the Apex thing. But you know, we'll see what
So
happens.
we'll see. I mean, I'd love for him to pay that 50K and say, "Hey, look, you know what? I was wrong. I admit it. That's so cool that Lanto's on the up and up or whatever." Like I want him to be humble about it if he does in fact lose.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because it's a weird thing too. Because like, what was he gonna get if he was right? Like, he didn't say, "I
I mean,
bet
50K.
Lanto." He didn't. He said, "I didn't." He didn't say, "I bet Lanto 50K." He just said, "I'll put up 50K." Like, it was just a
Oh,
general thing,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, true, because unless you have an agreeing party, then you're not going to get the 50K anyway,
right?
even if you were right. But
Right.
I mean, theoretically, if Lanto decided to ignore it, then that would give credibility to his accusation.
And big deal. What's that gonna buy you? What's that gonna buy you on X? In
Yeah.
two weeks, people will have
Yeah.
forgotten about it, and then move on to the next phony or fraud. And so
Oh yeah, for sure.
speaking of, bro, Mr. Byron Stonk himself. What's up, Byron?
Yeah, rumored homosexual Brian Stonk, also rumored to be scamming his community, is posting that he's going to be getting the next $5 million Apex payout.
Hey, yo, what did you start
And
with, bro?
what do you mean?
There, pause. I was like, pause. Oh my god. All I gotta say
Yeah.
is, bro, would you like? I'm not giving my Discord money to a dude who look like this. Is like this dude looked like he's gonna scam me, bro, with that smirk on. Like, you
Yeah, I don't
you
know,
trust this
man. So
kid?
this is
You gonna
wild.
trust this kid with your money? You just like, hey, I can learn from this whiz kid? Nah, bro. Nah.
Well, we don't judge a book by the cover,
Yes, you do. It's
but
your hard-earned money. You do too. You gotta look first things first is, does this dude look credible? Does he look
yeah.
reliable? Why
Yeah.
why has he got the polo buttoned all the way up like that? Why?
You know what? That's a good point. Yeah, you can't trust a full button up
No,
person,
you
can you?
can't trust a full button up, bro. Forget about anything else here. We just go ahead and block out this. Right? I'm talking about anybody with that. Forget about the stonk in there. Just this. I'm talking about
Hmm.
I'm talking about this, man. You can't trust. You can't be trusted. This right here, nah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Anyways,
but in all seriousness, I don't think I follow him, but
mm,
I did see PW and somebody else talking about him, and then that's kind of how I got
mm,
in this circle of figuring out like what's going on here.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Our favorite hater, PW,
yes. Well,
was basically saying, yeah, basically alleging that there's no way that he's
yeah.
trading legit without breaking all the rules, basically.
And PW was first on this one. Let's give credit where credit is due. See this, kids. This was February
Yeah,
5th, right here. February 5th, ladies and gentlemen. A good 2 weeks before the whole Apex thing.
yeah. So what is the Apex thing?
So, all right. So before we get into this, there was that traders
Hmm.
convention down in what, like Miami or something like that. I think it was Valentine's Day weekend. Is that correct?
Oh, Big Daddy Max's thing, right?
I don't know if it was
Or was
his
there a
thing.
different one?
I don't know if it was his thing, but he was there. Apex was there. A lot of people was there.
Okay.
Toy was there. The trends lines were flowing. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
Tori was there. Dude, like, there's a whole bunch of people that was there. Okay, Big Daddy Max
Yeah.
was there with some of his crew. Anyways, we're not big time enough yet to get an invite, but we'll get there. You know. And anyways, Brian was Byron. He was there with Apex, dude. Like, and multiple people have reported that he was at the Apex booth and they were like pumping him
Oh,
up. They
okay.
were loving that he was there, this, that,
Mm.
and the third. Okay. So then
Yeah.
within a week, bro, and I don't know what he did. He must have done something to upset somebody. He said something that was off, out of pocket, because then they came at him and they sent out this email that they sent out to like pretty much every Apex trader who existed. And then
Oh, so actually, did we even pull up that his post yet then? Because I think my bad. I kind of just jumped straight to PW and we didn't even talk about the post, huh?
About about him trying to make
Yeah.
$5 million. Yeah, so he was
Hmm.
trying to make $5 million. Sorry, I think you're right. We are jumping the gun. He was trying to make $5 million. He
Yeah.
said he was inspired by J Cap and Trader Kane. So he was manifesting $5 million, and he was posting some screenshots like this, like saying, look at this. Day 1 to 5, 10K a day. Day 6, he made 25K. Day 7, he made 112K on one account.
And
Bro.
mind you, this is on silver.
Yeah, he's been mostly trading silver, maybe some gold too, but
Mhm.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was this he was heavy on the metals, bro. So he was
Yep.
a heavy metal man. And then,
Hmm.
so like in Patrick's, that's what Patrick's calling him out. Like, there's no way. Congrats to him for making the profits in silver, but everyone who knows anything about trading knows there's no way he did it with an actual strategy. And he is saying that there is zero chance he gets paid out. This was PW, zero chance. Zero. This PW looked
Yeah.
wild for this, but then this Apex email, then they had that thing down in Florida, and then this Apex email came out. And this email right here is talking about rolling out automated, monitoring systems, issuing next day violation alerts, right? And this was activated through December, right? And then they start getting into a coordinated pattern of abuse by a select group of traders, which
Yeah.
included sim farming, churn and burn, intentional scaling violations. It was so bad they put it on there twice. Repeated MAE
That might have been my
violations.
bad, but
No, it's okay.
yeah.
Hold
Hmm.
up, my for some reason my headphones disconnected. Um, Hedging violations, windfall gambling strategies, structured payout manipulation, and this one, repeated MAE rule breaches. Now, they go on to
Yeah.
talk.
And speaking of MAE, really quick, Joe put out a video
Oh,
recently
thank
about
you.
the MAE rules. So if anybody uh, about it before, but Joe's got a great video on it, so go check that out, and we'll link it in the description below as well.
Thank you.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Joe.
that was a lot of fun, that video.
Hmm.
So the MAE rule, like really quickly, it's just watch that video if you don't understand it, right? So that will save us time in this video. You watch that video, we'll link it. So this is interesting, right? Because it's saying that 1,200 MAE violations of alerts were triggered in 7 days. 658 MAE rule pings occurred, right? The interesting thing is this is like this will ping multiple times if you're still in the trade, and I think what ends up why it like will ping is like if you if you cross over the threshold, then you're back in profit, and then you cross over the threshold again within the same trade, it'll just keep repeatedly
Oh,
pinging.
sure.
So
Okay.
so,
Mhm.
like, it wasn't that he had 1,200 different trades that set this off. It was just like multiple, like within this, the profit and loss is going up and down, up and down, up and down because it's silver. It was volatile as hell, right?
Right.
And this is basically saying that there were positions that were held that were basically at the point of almost blowing the account, right? And then he
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
hedging between gold and silver, which generated improperly obtained.
Massive no-no.
Yeah. Well, why is that? Hold on. Why is that a massive no-no? Why can't I be long on gold and short on silver?
So you can't hedge against the same like group. So you could be long on an index, for example, and then you could be short on metals, but you can't be short on two metals because basically they trade in a similar pattern, and that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but from the research that I've done in the past, and maybe it could vary from certain brokers to brokers. I don't necessarily think so, but
Hmm.
what I understand is it can't be amongst the same group of instruments, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Well, I've never traded silver and I've rarely traded gold, so it wouldn't be something that I would know about. But I guess, and I guess that kind of makes sense because I would never really think to go like long ES and short NQ. That's never been a thing for me. But there are some times where
Right.
like YM moves down, like the Dow might have a down day, and
Hmm.
like ES or NQ might, be choppy, like range bound day or whatever. So there might actually be opportunities where you could be in a short on YM and be like, oh, this NQ long looks good. I guess it's
Yeah.
important to know if that's going to set it off.
Yeah, and
So
I do wonder if this is my assumption is that maybe this is a future specific rule because not that I've ever done this, but like say for instance trading options, like I don't think that there's anything necessarily that would preclude me from buying puts on gold and
no,
buying calls on silver or
no,
whatever simultaneously.
no,
So yeah, I'm not fully versed in this, but
no. It's definitely a prop rule because if you think about it, you could if you were trading a large account, you could
mhm.
have, let's just say, shares of SPY that you're holding in a long term portfolio while simultaneously buying puts.
Yeah, of course,
Because you are like hedging is like think about it, dude, literally hedge funds,
right.
right? So
Hmm.
that's what they do. Um, but anyways,
Yeah, so it must be future specific.
it must I think yeah, just from the prop account specific to prevent you from gamifying the system. But like they
Mm.
go on to talk about like this or whatever, and a repeated is process repeated at scale, not structured risk management, etc. Then repeated warnings, loss of rewards, termination, forfeiture, right? And then they're calling out this guy specifically, who Byron later goes on to say that he actually is on his 797th or 99th PA account. So this has gotta be him. And then he's only ever had 195 payouts and 101 denied. Like,
Yeah, so the RR there is, I mean, the payouts can be quite large, and maybe the RR is good, but just looking at this number from an account perspective, it's pretty dang awful.
yeah, it is. And then so it just goes on. It goes on to talk about affiliate relationships being terminated, which Byron then does have a post too where he says that he's no longer working with them. And then
Yeah, he had a post. People in his Discord. I joined the Discord just to kind of see what was going on because I saw a post on X and I wanted to make sure that it was like the real deal.
mhm,
And he posted something about like I know you guys have a lot of questions about what's going on, and then he gave the whole like legal defense thing where like
right here.
I can't talk. My lawyers, yeah. So
Yep.
I see the messages. I know many of you want clarity. I care about this community, and I would normally address things immediately. But oh, can you go back a sec, Joe?
Sorry.
I've been asked to seek legal counsel before discussing specifics publicly. So I just kind of like, you know what? That's not sounding good already.
Yep. Yep. So now,
Hmm.
the other thing here, right? And I got it, like, I think to kind of like wrap this up is so now we got br- this guy's exposed, right? He's not looking at getting his payout, right? It looks like they've terminated his thing. So say la vie to that $5 million payout that you were, fraudulently running up. Um,
Yeah, and he did post in his community that he's no longer partnered with Apex as well.
Yep, he did. He did. I can't
Yep.
seem to find that right now. I seem to have misplaced it. But yes, he did say that. The other thing
Mhm.
is, with this Apex email, right? There's, they talk about a lot of warnings and stuff like that. There were a lot of people who, at the same time as this email coming out, received
Mhm.
notification that they were no longer allowed to buy evals, and that there was a big eval ban. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that at
Mm.
all, but
No, yeah, go for it. I don't know if I saw that.
okay. So a lot of the affiliates are all kind of saying the same thing. The Apex affiliates saying
Mhm.
you're not banned. Okay. I think everybody understands that. We're not like, because it says me too. Like I'm eval banned. I can't buy any more evals. So
Mhm.
the traders who receive this eval ban, right? We're not saying nobody is saying Apex banned me outright. They're saying I'm banned from making future
Oh, right.
purposes, right? I am eval banned. So like I don't know
Mhm.
why all of the Apex affiliates are like, "Oh, you're not banned. You can still trade your PAs as normal." Yeah, I get that. But if anything happens, including a technical glitch, which has been known to happen, then I'm out, right? And
Mhm.
suddenly a company that I'm working with, I'm no longer allowed to work with because they won't want me to buy any more evals. Now, this has hit traders from a wide range of profitability. I know what I've done. You can go to my X account and just view it. Like, yeah, I can see why Apex is like, we don't want Joe taken from us anymore. Got it. But
Yeah.
but there,
Okay, yeah, I follow.
yeah,
And I think it's just like um people were so people like you are bringing up a valid concern,
mm,
especially when it comes to platform issues and you have proof that you didn't break the MAE
yeah,
and then you still got banned. But then
mhm.
the responses that I saw to you and then to like others as well, they almost felt like copy pasta, bro.
Oh,
Where
for
it was like,
real.
let me just tote the affiliate line here and like defend my partnership. And I in some regards I respect that. I guess you want to maintain the business relationship, but I do feel like if you're going to have an affiliate partnership with these firms, I think they should give you the leeway to have a little bit of criticism. And I think that we've criticized like Lucid, for example, in a respectful way that wouldn't harm our partnership with them.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
just like with these guys, like I really felt like they were heavily towing the Apex affiliate line, just kind of like
Yes.
bashing people that had valid concerns about
Yes.
being banned versus like the obvious situations, Byron, for example. So.
Yes, and, like, I understand, like, I've talked to another trader, who's shown me what's on their dashboard. I understand that you can just, like, screenshot and copy paste and put
Hmm.
Photoshop and Paint on anything, right? And even live logins, they're just like crap now. But the point I was trying to
Yeah.
make is that you see posts all across X from whether it's traders who've taken their first payout or traders who've been trading for them or for them or with Apex for a while. They're all receiving this. It's like a simultaneously rolled out thing of, hey, you're eval banned. You're no longer allowed to buy evals. And it all seemed to come out to
Hmm.
people who were either on the cusp of profitability or already over it, right? And
Yeah. Hmm.
and the Apex affiliates are all defaulting to, well, if you're breaking rules, then why would you think you can stay with the firm? Or how long do you really expect to stay on the prop firm model? And blah blah blah. Like you said, it's all copy paste, like word soup, right?
Hmm.
There are people
Yeah.
who like a trader I specifically have in mind has only made like a total of, I don't know, 54 or 55 total purchases
Hmm.
with Apex. That includes
Yeah.
evals, resets, and PA fees.
Okay.
That's nothing, dude. Like this guy
Hmm.
Lanto, if he or not Lanto, sorry, this guy Byron, if he had 800 funded accounts, imagine how many evals he had.
Right.
And
Yeah. For
and
real.
they had no problem keeping him on up until really up until he went to the event, and then something happened, and they decided, hey, we're going to out this guy, we're going to get rid of him, probably because they didn't want to pay him, and they were like, we're tired of your rule breaks, but he was breaking rules. There are other traders who literally,
Well,
I haven't. That's like for
maybe
the
also
example.
though with this new system, Joe, like they just didn't fully have monitoring capabilities up until more recently,
No,
perhaps.
no, I call crap on that one, dude. I call crap on that one
Okay.
because he's if he's had 101 payouts denied, they've
Hmm.
and I know this for a fact. I've had a payout denied way, way, way long ago for an MAE rule violation, dude, because they were auditing. Because we know how Apex operates. They were auditing every single payout that came out because they didn't want to pay it. So if they could get you on a rule break, they would cite you on a rule break and they would not pay you. And we knew that was a thing. That's like Apex was the king of that, is the king of that. So that's been going on
Right.
for a long, long time. So,
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we got especially with the video proof
right.
requirements that they had.
Yeah, remember
So yeah,
that?
that's fair.
Remember that?
Hmm.
You had to submit a video that it was you trading, and then you had to do a full write up of what your system was because I get it that there are probably a lot of people who are trying to scheme that system with the 20 available accounts.
Hmm.
But this trader in particular has not had an Apex account since January of last year. Around November, in November, there was a purchase that was put through. It says free, and it specifically says, I'll see if I can get the screenshots from them. We'll share this in the next episode. Give you guys with a cliffhanger for next time. It literally says no more. It's like a ban on evals. It says something like no more evals on November, sometime in November, November 20th, November 21st, 30th, somewhere. It's in November.
Right.
It predates this new system that they have for auditing. It predates all this drama. It predates all the drama with metals and all that stuff. And still the question remains. I haven't had an account. You know, they were saying this is their question. I haven't had an account with you since January. Why am I getting an eval ban in November? I didn't even do anything for 10 months.
Yeah.
So
Right.
then go back to Apex and say, oh, maybe Apex is on sale 90% off. I've been working on trading, blah, blah, blah. I've been doing well with other firms. I'll go back to Apex. Now I can't buy anything. That doesn't check out.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
but all the affiliates want to say, oh, the trader did some wrongdoing. Like, dude,
I mean, and I know, like, there's a lot of traders that really do gamify the system and just they go full port YOLO,
yep,
and it's something that we never recommend.
yep,
So obviously, there's a lot of validity there, but I mean, then there's also the outliers that really do try to play by the rules, and of course, their trading's not perfect, and they can have platform issues, or they could just have bad days, whatever.
yes,
But for those outliers, there is a consistency pattern of them not violating all the time or on every account.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I can speak from full experience here, dude. I think I've told you the story where I had a payout denied with Apex and they sent me an email. They said, hey, here's like a warning for you. We're denying your payout. You were hedging across accounts. And I screen record everything when I trade now. I got OBS running
Yeah.
on so everything you can see. And I said, no, no, no. I've never hedged before in my life. I know it. I never did that. If there was even like alleged hedging, it must have been a copy trader issue. Give me the trades. So first things first,
Yeah.
they sent me the trades. When you look at the timestamps on the trades, bro, it was like they're
Mhm.
um I had entries and exits that were like basically simultaneous or milliseconds apart where the copier glitched. And when it exited
Yeah.
my long position, it flipped me short on some accounts, not all. So first things first
Mhm.
is how are you denying like, they're denying all payouts on all accounts when only some accounts were in question. Secondly, it wasn't hedging, it was an immediate reversal. And then I
Yeah.
provided them the video proof where I am literally on camera, like, oh shit, I'm still in this trade. Now it's flipped me the other way. And I am flipping through my Apex accounts, closing the accounts out one by one. Like, why did the
Mhm.
copier glitched? I'm all on voice. I send it to them. I upload
Yeah.
it to YouTube as an unlisted video. I send it to them. They were like, okay, yeah, you're right. We removed this violation, but your payout's still denied. This is what they want to do,
Just for
man.
this period, or did they kick you down the road like another week
Yeah, you
for
had to trade.
consistency or no?
Yeah, no, consistency was
Okay.
fine. They didn't take any profits away. They denied the payout. And you said you got to trade 8 more days and you can request the payout again,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is what I
Well, I
did.
mean, at least they did that, but that does suck. But yeah.
It does suck.
But this just goes to show, like, record your dang trades, guys. Like, been never been easier to record your trades. And if
Yeah,
you're
OBS
on
is
the
free.
the few percentage of people that are on the up and up and not totally like trying to screw the system and YOLO lottery and all this stuff, record your trades. It's for your own benefit too, like to be able to review in real time versus the hindsight of, oh, what was, like, I know what the perfect chart looks like now, but like, what did the chart look like back then? Can I replicate my mindset when I was in the trade in real time?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what would I do looking at it as it was developing versus, like, what my headspace was when I recorded.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
record your trades, guys. It's awesome.
it's a huge benefit just from getting better as a trader. But like the last bit I have there to say about it is everybody wants to think about scaling up and using the trade copier, like the Replicanto trade copier or the Apex trade copier, or even sometimes the Top Step built-in trade copier. I've heard people have issues with Tradeovate built-in copier. All these
Sure.
copiers or whatever, from time to time, when you have a spike in volatility or something happens, it's not it's not all it's cracked up to be. There is significant risk there that something's going to go wrong. So
Yeah, sure. For sure.
smaller size is always the way to go when you're using that thing.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good, man. I think we've said about as much as we can on that, huh?
I think so. Yeah, we got some stuff to follow up on in the
Yeah.
coming weeks, so we'll look forward to doing that.
Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. See ya.